Thanks very much, Brian. The sun is out in the pit lane now. I'm thawing out. My fingers were frozen, but we're hoping to grab a word with Andre Fernandez after he grabs pole position once again. This will be his 4th pole in the round 5. Didn't quite have the second fastest, didn't have the fastest second fastest time, so won't be on pole for race number 6, but I'm going to grab a quick word with Andre. Andre, another good session for yourself. Your 4th pole of the season, I think. 4th pole.
Yeah, no. The first season. Let's see next year, but I like the car 992, and I try to do my best and put in pole, and here I am.
And your best was best on the grid, so that's very good. You made it a lot less dramatic than last time, because last time you ended up in the gravel.
I know, but you need to do that. You need to be exciting and do some crazy moves.
I love watching you. Of course, you're always getting stuck in. Congratulations, pole position for race 1. The win?
Yeah, I hope so. I want to have fun and drive fast. This is what I want.
It's been very close in the top 4 or 5 drivers in practice. I assume you're going to be looking forward to a good race.
Yeah, the guys next to me, they're really fast, and I don't know the circuit like them, but I try to put everything perfect a little bit, and let's see. But let's see in the race if I can keep the pace in the front.
Absolutely, Andre. We'll let you go and cool off and get some lunch. And Brian, I'll hand back to you, and then I'll be ready in just a few moments for our lunchtime pit walk.
He asks the questions that everybody else is scared to ask, and we're going to see some more of him in a bit, because he's going to be walking up and down the pit lane and giving us a little bit of an insight into all that's occurring. So the race marshals, who do a wonderful job, and while it's quiet, and I'm hoping they can hear us through the PA, we say thank you to all of the track staff, all of the marshals. I can see you out on turn 14 sweeping at the moment, but we know you're scattered all around the circuit. Thank you for all that you do that allows us to go racing. The Orange Army are absolute heroes, and there they are working hard, and I'm hoping they can hear me on the PA system, but thank you to the Orange Army. If you can hear us, give us a wave. And they are doing a sterling job sweeping lots of gravel, and we saw a fair amount of that dragged onto the track during what have been 2 great qualifying sessions. So qualifying is done for 2025. It always feels a bit weird saying the season closer. It's the 1st of March, for goodness sake. But this is the Winter Championship, and the tagline of Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe: summer wins are made in the winter. It's the 3rd season of this championship, and I know there's already exciting plans for season 4. And drivers, teams who are watching, I have to tell you, and I have to remind you, that the drivers who took part in the championship last year went on to be winners in their respective championships during the summer. So this is a great opportunity to get up to speed for the season. You take part in this championship. In fact, it was 6 drivers who became champions in their summer championships, having taken part in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe in 2024. 27 drivers ended in the top 5 in their summer championships. 18 drivers ended in their top 3. 31 drivers achieved 1 or more podiums. 20 drivers have won a race in their summer championships. And 216 podium finishes in total by drivers in their summer championships, by all of them, of the drivers who took part in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. So this championship, really important for getting up to speed. And we're looking at the overall championship, certainly in the sport division. Flint Schering is going to hit the ground running, as is the case for Ariel Levy, for Chester Kiefer, and for Sasha Norden when they get ready for their summer championships, which will all be kicking off in the next month. Or gentlemen kicking the stones on cue to me saying kick there. As the seasons kick off, the various drivers who have taken part in Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe will be featuring at the front, and that is why we love this. And already I'm plugging the championship for 2026, and we haven't even got the dates announced yet. Right, okay, it's your favourite part of the day. It's the day when I'm going to go get a cup of tea. It's the day, the part of the day where we head down to Piers, who's in the pit lane with all the news and all the gossip. Over to you, Piers.
Brian, you enjoy that cup of tea while I walk us through and get a word with as many drivers and personnel as possible down the pit lane. And it's great to be here once again at Circuit de Barcelona, Catalunya. Great circuit for racing, of course, hosted Formula One many, many times. We saw some brilliant racing here last season, and I'm hoping we're going to have exactly the same today. And if qualifying Well, looking at the results from qualifying, I think we're going to have some very tight racing indeed. And actually, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about during this lunchtime walk, was especially in the sport division, club division as well, but a few of the sport division practice sessions, there was 10, 15 drivers covered by half a second, over 20 drivers covered by a second, which in a, 32 car grid is pretty tight indeed. And it's amazing, really, because this is one of the longest circuits that we go to in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, and it just seems to get closer and closer as the season goes on. But anyway, we are here in the pit lane, starting at pit exit end, and the first team we have at the pit exit end is Team Neuhofer Rennsport. They've got 3 drivers this time. We had Felix Neuhofer on the left-hand side there. He's in the sports division. He joined us at the first round for the same team, and then David von Rosen is in the GT4 classification of the club division in the bright green number 223 here, and David is enjoying his racing, and we saw him out in the GT4s, had a pretty good qualifying session. And then Marcus as well, Marcus Neuhofer, who is who's father to Felix, and it's good to see that both father and son can go racing, and we'll be seeing them going at it this afternoon. Next up, Volcano Motorsport, another returning team to the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. Didn't see them at the last time out in Valencia or in Estoril, unfortunately, but they were with us at the first round in Portimao with Evgeny Leonov, who got pole position in the first race and took pretty much a Leicester flag, or pretty good victory in that one. And he was very fast in practice, topped a couple of the times and was right up there in qualifying, pipped in the end by Andre Fernandez and I think it was Michael Cole, who was also a returning driver. We'll get to him later on. Nick Ho and Mace Muller, always good entertainment on and off circuit. Those two get along. You'll notice a different livery for the number 98 of Nick Ho in the sport division this weekend. His car's normally yellow, black and white, but this weekend I think it actually might be Ziad Giris' car from one of the other rounds, as Ziad is not racing this weekend. But that's just speculation by me. It may be a new livery altogether, but the familiar McDonald's sponsorship on that car, so you can spot him on circuit, and he was very quick at various rounds. I think it was in Estoril. He got 2 fifth places, which was his best running so far this season. Mace Muller, who's been on the rookie podium a number of times this season. Mace is his first season this season in the 911 cars. He was racing in GT4 machinery before this season, and he's been learning off his friend Nick from karting, as we caught up with them at the first round in the lunch break then, and they actually raced together when they were teenagers, and now they're back reunited as I say young adults. We'll go with young adults, both in the same team. That's PG Motorsport. Then NGT Racing. This is Robin Knudsen. Robin joined us last time out at Valencia for NGT Racing. Robin is a very experienced Porsche racer. He joined us for the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe last season, and if my notes don't fly away, then I'll be able to let you know roughly how he went. Of course, Robin, the completely grey car here. I don't know, is he in the garage? I don't think he is at the moment, so we'll not be able to go away with him today. But yes, he had a best result of 3rd place in Estoril last season, the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, and has had 4 podiums in the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux as well, and I think he'll be racing in this Porsche 911 car with NGT Racing this season. Another returning driver, Lennart Heemstra, who unfortunately had a pretty hefty accident in Estoril, which put him out of Valencia as well, while the team worked hard. That's the garage number 35. So that team is Triple Crown Racing. They've done a good job to get that car rebuilt after what was a pretty hefty impact. And Lennart actually showed some pretty good pace at times in testing this weekend, and I was hoping to grab a word with Lennart, but I think quite a lot of the club division drivers especially are probably out to lunch, as their session has just finished. Moving on, next up, MDM Motorsport. Returning driver 919, the 18-year-old of Jelte Hofner. We've spoken to him a couple of times this season in the lunchtime grid walks. He's actually definitely made a step forward in terms of pace this weekend, being well inside the top 10 at points in testing. I don't think he quite managed to sneak inside the top 10 in qualifying, if my memory serves me correct, but he'll be looking to get involved and pushing on. He's got experience in other single make championships last season and moving over to the 911 Cup car this season in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, and he's still using this as an opportunity to learn the car, and also how he does this season will impact what he does this year. So maybe we'll see him in in this car throughout this season. I think that's probably true. But of course, that's one of the beauties of the Porsche Carrera Cup or Porsche 911 Cup racing cars, is you can race them in so many championships. Especially in Europe, we've got the Porsche Carrera Cup Benelux, who are run by the same organisation that do the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe. You've got Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Germany. You've got the Mobil 1 Super Cup, of course, which follows Formula 1. You've got also all the regional ones like GB, Scandinavia, Italy, France, and a lot of these drivers in this championship in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe are here to prepare for those seasons. And also, of course, go racing and provide you at home with an excellent show. Also, Jan-Jaap van Roon is joining us once again in the 127 for MDM Motorsport. He was with us at a previous round, the number 127. He was with us, I think it was the first round. Was he at the second round as well? Yeah, he was at the first round and then joined us last time out in Valencia as well. His best result this season was 5th place in that last race in Valencia in his group. So we'll see if he can match those. So a top 10 runner is Jan-Jaap. Next up, the Ombra Racing team, Luciano Martinez joining us once again. I think a slightly different coloured livery this time. He's still got blue, but he's with the orange flashes, the number 12. Luciano, TCR racer in Italy last season, moving over to Porsche Carrera Cup Italy this season, I believe, with Ombra Racing. So he'll be looking forward to a season that's still only 21 years old, and we did catch up with him last time out in Valencia in the lunchtime pit walk, and he had some very snazzy sunglasses on, and I think our camera operator Laura made good use of that artistic license there. And teammates to Luciano Martinez is Anthony Imperato, and a very experienced driver. He's raced for many years in Porsche machinery and others. He's raced in IMSA, he's raced in America, he's an American driver, and it's actually had a pretty unfortunate season so far. He's been involved in a few incidents, some of which I don't think he was completely at fault for, but he'll be looking to move on forward. Herdecker Racing Team in Garage 31. We've got Alexander Dobik once again. I don't think, unfortunately, made it out in qualifying. A big shame for him. I haven't had a chance to catch up with the team and find out why Alexander wasn't able to make it out for that, but he'll be moving his way through the fields in the races, because we've seen excellent pace from him at various points this season. And a new driver this weekend, his teammate is Juan Pablo Vega. Juan Pablo in the 563. Juan Pablo's, he guested in the Porsche Mobil 1 Super Cup at the Red Bull Ring this season, and has also raced LMP3 in the Winter Series as well. So a driver with an eclectic racing mix. And then we've got lunchtime in the sun. Guys, what's on the menu? What's on the menu here?
Tortellini today.
Tortellini, looks delicious. I'm going to have some of my lunch afterwards. Oh, we've got options as well. What's this over here?
Rice and some beef.
Rice and beef. Guys, are you feeling fueled, ready for the afternoon? Absolutely, brilliant. And of course, this is the Garage 30, which is lap time performance. Lap time have got Damir Hot this weekend, a new driver in lap time performance. Oh, lunchtime performance. Yes, lunchtime performance. Brilliant. Guys, you know what? You should just take my job. You're much better at it than I am. Lunchtime performance are here with Damir Hotz in the number 50. He's joining us this weekend. And then also Gianluca Tucharoglu, who's an experienced Porsche racer, joining us this weekend. He's showing very good pace in practice. I think he topped a couple of the practice sessions on Thursday and Friday. So, another young driver. We've got a lot of young drivers in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe, especially in the sport division. A lot of drivers starting their racing career and trying to build on, trying to forge a racing career in Porsche racing, and then maybe even going to GTs after that. A lot of these drivers, as I mentioned, looking at their respective Porsche racing campaigns this year. He's guested in 2024 in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Deutschland last year, Germany, and also has raced many Porsches for a couple of years, and also he's the Cup Germany's GT Sprint champion and the youngest ever in that championship. So he's another successful driver, definitely one to look out for, as he's, as described by Brian Oliver, our commentator, an entertainer. So we'll be looking out for him. Easy to spot, and I like in the black and white livery. Sometimes the simplest liveries are the best. Next up, Team Parker Racing, our British contingent. Lee Mole once again in the this sort of lime yellowy green car, the number 56 in the club division, and behind is the grey with blue flashes of Michael McInerney. I'm hoping to grab a word with Michael if he's about, because we didn't manage to catch up with him in the previous round. But it doesn't look like he's in. I'm going to try and maybe grab a word with Lee Mole. I'm going to flag him down. Is Lee Mole around for a chat? Or is Michael? I can see Michael. Do you know what? Laura, you stay here. I'm going to wander into the garage and I'm going to grab some of our drivers. Let me know if my microphone breaks up. Michael, are we all right to grab a word for the TV, please? That would be great. Yes, there we go. Perfect. I'll just drag you out of the front. Sorry to drag Michael away from his lunchtime chin wag. Michael, sorry to drag you away there. Great to catch up with you. Thank you for hanging around for us. How was your Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe campaign going so far?
Well, I've only done the Valencia in this one, so only half the season. But it's a brand new car to me. I've never driven this car before, so it's really getting a shakedown for some races in the UK.
Amazing, and I hear that you've done a lot of racing in historics, I think. And what sort of historic cars have you raced previously?
Cortinas, Mustangs, and cars that I bought new, which became historic, like the Mosler, Ferrari 430, which we drove at Le Mans. So that was parked up for several years and then became eligible for racing again. So it's great to have the old ones back out.
Amazing, and good to see you in Porsche cars. How are you enjoying it? Because I imagine these are quite different to drive than some of the historic machinery.
It's been a baptism of fire. The first time I got in it, I love the car, but just, it's a very, very different beast to be able to master. So I'm slowly cracking away with the times, but it's just trusting the car. The brakes, everything's phenomenal, but it's after getting out of historics with no grip, it's a different world.
You have to push yourself a lot more, and I assume you're having great help from the team, and also Phil Keen's you're helping with driver coaching as well, isn't he?
Yeah, it's great to get feedback from Phil. He's reviewing every sort of lap time, telling me the sort of do's and don'ts, and teaching me where to lean on the car and trust it. So the times are coming slowly. So it's a great experience.
Yeah, I can see you're enjoying yourself.
And in the sunshine as well.
Hey, it's not quite summer in Spain, but the sun's out, which is better than the UK.
Better than the UK, that's good enough for me.
Michael, thank you very much for taking some time to chat to us. We'll see how you get on this afternoon. Michael McInerney there for Team Parker Racing. He's in the club division. Next up, Fark Auto Tech, David Harrison, or Harry, as I've been told to call him, the number 151. Again, another striking livery with his sponsors on that car with the flashes of purple and orange. David is a very experienced driver, raced a lot, and also Ernst in the bits. Ernst, would you like to come and have a chat, Ernst? Is English okay for our chat? We'll try it. Ernst, Ernst in Bitson, we haven't had a chance to catch up so far. Just talk to us about your season in the Porsche Sprint Challenge so far.
Well, it's a tough fight. I started far behind, and now it's improving a little bit. But the other guys are getting faster as well, and so the gap is still approximately the same.
And so whenever I see you walking around the paddock, you've always got a smile on your face. You're enjoying it.
Yes, that's true. It's for fun, and age-wise, I'm not in the best position to compete. But
I'd say you've got the most experience, though.
Well, I started just a couple of years ago, so I like all the experience you can have with go-car and fast cars in your youth time, and so it is, it's for fun.
Ernst, thank you very much for taking the time to chat to us. I'll let you go and chill out and get ready for your race this afternoon. Good luck. Ernst in Bitson in the number 9 in the club division racing for Fark Auto Tech. I haven't actually had a chance to catch up with Ernst before, so that's great that he popped in the garage at the right moment. Again, another car you can see is a distinctive livery, grey with the red flashes. It's really cool to see, actually, all the different liveries up and down the pit lane, and you can memorise your favourite liveries in this lunchtime pit walk and keep an eye out for those this afternoon. And one of the distinctive liveries that we're missing this weekend, unfortunately, is Ajith Kumar. He's on the grid, but a different looking car. Normally you would have seen Ajith in the white, red and yellow livery that he sported at the first 3 events in Portimao, Estoril and then Valencia. But unfortunately, if you were watching race 2 in last time out in Valencia, you would have noticed that car didn't spend its whole time on its wheels. Did a double roll. Ajith was absolutely fine. Car, not so much. So back again for Red Ant Racing in a different livery. But Ajith will be pushing on, and he was actually, I think, taken a step forward once again this weekend in terms of pace. He's getting closer and closer to the front. So Ajith Kumar, I know, a big fan of a lot of you at home, so keep an eye out for him, the number 28 in the club division. And teammates, Milan Marchak, the number 69 in the sports division alongside Thomas Kangro. Milan, very, very strong qualifying. I can't remember exactly where he qualified. I think it was 5th overall, which in his 3rd race weekend in a car ever is hugely impressive. Really taking a stride forward and also showing great resilience, as he had a pretty hefty crash on on Thursday, which took out pretty much a good chunk of the left-hand side that we're looking at right now. But the Red Ant Racing team doing an excellent job to get that car working, but not just working, but working at its absolute best to allow Milan to move forward. And I could see after qualifying, Team Marchak were very happy, and Mum and Dad celebrating. And I was hoping to grab a word with Milan after qualifying, but didn't quite get there in time. Moving on, garage number 21 and 22, we have Target competition. Target, we have two drivers here. I'm going to grab Matthias Ferreira first. Matthias, who was, come this side please, I've only got short arms. Matthias, the only driver so far this season to beat Chester Kiefer in the rookies. That must have felt pretty good.
Yeah, it felt pretty good actually. That was my goal for that race, I told you just before the race, and I was really happy that I could do it. So yeah, it's just a really good feeling actually.
Good feeling indeed, but you're not just here for rookie wins, you're here for hopefully trying to take overall points and podiums. You've had some really good, strong results this season. I feel like every weekend you've got stronger and stronger.
Yeah, to be honest, this test was not the best for me and the team, but I think we did an amazing job. We put everything together for quali and did a really good quali. I'll start first race in P5 and maybe get the overall podium for the first time. That's my goal for the race, you know.
Absolutely, and we're going to be keeping an eye on you because you've got the onboard camera this weekend.
Yeah, they just told me I got the onboard camera, so yeah, I hope you guys help me, wish the best for me in the race, and I hope I can get the overall podium.
Yeah, you've got a lot of fans out in Brazil where you're from. I see a lot of comments online, you've got a lot of followers on social media. Anything you want to say in Brazilian Portuguese to anyone at home watching?
Yeah, for sure. Vou tentar fazer o pódio agora, me desejam o melhor aí, espero que dê tudo certo, vamos pra cima.
Absolutely. Matthias, we'll see how you get on this afternoon. I'll grab your teammate, Charles Visser. Charles, come on in. Charles, our resident South African. How are you going?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Qualifying didn't go as planned, but it's good, rather good. We're in the middle. That's where the biggest fight is going to be. So I just have to not get in that whoop whoop all excited mindset. Just bring the car back in one piece. But it's looking pretty promising, and I'm really looking forward. And the nice thing is we're progressing, getting better by every round. So that's the whole point of this championship we're doing. So I'm looking forward to the race and pretty happy as it's going right now.
Absolutely. I spoke to you and your dad at one of the previous rounds. We'll move out of the way of the cars a little bit so I can hear you what you're saying. I spoke to you and your dad, and your main aim for joining this championship is just to get miles in the car and experience, and starting in the middle of the grid you're going to have plenty of racing action around you.
Yeah, definitely, and I do think it also builds up the racing sharpness for the whole season. And like I say, you know, we all come here into this championship, you know, I don't know this guy and this guy doesn't know the other guy, so you don't know, it's like a lucky package, you know, you go out for qualifying, so some guy, you know, puts it on pole by like 0.4 or something, so it's really, how can I say, it's a really refreshing way to go into racing. It's also pretty fun. I actually love the championship, you know, we're getting racing on such prestigious circuits and stuff, so yeah, I'm actually rather stoked with the progression we made this whole championship, and I think it's really setting the tone for the Italian championship we're going to do this year as well.
Amazing. Charles, I'll leave you to your lunch and go and get prepared for the next race. Of course, the first race coming up this afternoon is the Sport Division, which is the one that Matthias and Charles are in. Target competition also having other drivers this weekend. The 333 of Nathan Sharp, he joined us last time out on the right-hand side there, and he will be looking to push through as well. Okay, next up, one of the biggest teams on the grid. This is Proton Uber competition. Philip Wills, our championship leader, only needs, in the club division, only needs to finish 6th, I believe, according to Brian's maths. So he needs to finish 6th on the road, and he will have the Pro-Am championship. And then a young supporter there, hello. Young supporter there for Philip Wills. A lot of other cars in here as well. Of course, we've got the 95 of Josh Stanton, who unfortunately had a pretty poor qualifying actually by his own standards. Went off and then barely managed to get a representative lap time in. So we'll see Josh push forward from there. And another one of our onboard cameras, Sasha Norden, the number 21. He's going to be pushing through the field. I think he's qualified somewhere inside the top 10, so he'll be right there or thereabouts. And some more drivers that I wanted to grab a word with, starting with, come on out away from the noisy cars, Joe Warhurst. Joe, I haven't actually spoken to any of your drivers about this, but it seems like the rule in Proton Uber, if you're a Brit, your name has to start with a J.
Yeah, there's a Josh, Joe and James, so there's quite a few J's. It gets a little bit confusing, but it's all right.
Yes, Joe, you joined us last time out in the championship. It's your first experience racing a 911 Cup car, so how was that?
Oh, it's amazing. I mean, I had a pretty difficult year last year in the BMW. Struggled a lot, but this just seems to work really well for me. I'm getting to grips with it really well. I've got the dashboard taped up so I can't see any lap times. It's definitely helping me with my head. But yeah, no, just team are working really hard on the clutch now. It went in the last session. I pulled first gear and almost ran the team over. So I'm hoping that I'll get fixed in time. And then yeah, starting 9th again. Same place that I started for race 1 and race 2 in Valencia, so I should know it quite well now.
Absolutely. Also great to be inside the top 10 in such a competitive grid in a new car to yourself, because some of the guys that are racing in this are the top guys in all Porsche racing in the world.
Yeah, so I'm doing Carrera Cup Deutschland for the summer season this year. So a lot of the top guys in this championship are also the top guys for Deutschland, who I need to beat. I know that Mobile 1 Super Cup are coming to Barcelona this year, so a lot of those top boys are here as well, so it's great to be inside the top 10.
Absolutely. Also, one thing I've noticed, because we'd not met before the last round, you like to be very involved. You've got a little notepad. Just talk to us a little bit about that. I see you carrying that all around.
I see a lot of drivers come out of a session, they learn so much and you have so much on your mind, and then they go on the phone and forget it all. I'll come out of the car and the first thing I do is pick up my notebook and note everything down, because otherwise I'll just forget it all. And then of course when I'm on the plane back home again, because there's a lot of travelling involved in this, I read it all back. And sometimes it helps me fall asleep. It's a little bit boring sometimes.
Boring but useful for yourself.
Yeah,
so you're racing in the Porsche 6 Carrera Cup Deutschland this season with Proton Huber, or are you not sure yet?
With Proton Huber, yeah. Signed back in December and did the announcement a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, really happy for that. I'm really looking forward to it.
We'll see how you get on that, and we'll look forward to seeing you carve your way through the top 10. Joe Warhurst, thank you very much for taking a moment to chat to us. Joe is part of the Motorsport UK Academy, a British driver, was actually champion in this championship in the GT4 classification in 2023, and some more drivers joining us this weekend who are guesting is Theo Overhaus and Colin Bernighausen. Theo is the Porsche Junior in Germany, and I'm actually going to just wander in and see if I can see Theo, because really wanted to grab a word with him. He was here a moment ago. I think I've lost him. Hopefully you can still hear me okay, team. If Laura's going to shout at me if you can't. Is Theo around? Theo? No, Theo's not around. It's okay. We'll find him hopefully another time. Maybe he'll join us again next season. Right, moving out of the garage. Bit noisy in there. Sorry for that, everyone. I really wanted to grab a word with Theo, but I'm probably going to grab a word with him on the grid, so stick around for that. Next up, Enrico Fulgenzi. 2 drivers this weekend. Eric Wagner, who we've spoken to a couple of times, and Corrado Costa. They were almost inseparable in qualifying, I think in the middle of the teens, but they were only separated by a 10th or so of a second, so that'll be a good inter-team battle there. Another new driver moving up to Veloso Motorsports this weekend is Macedo, as I am told it is pronounced. He will be racing in the GT4 classification alongside Patrick Kuhnher, who took a win last time out in the GT4 classification as well. Moving on to, it's still Veloso Motorsport, but AF Motorsport with Veloso. Our pole position driver, Andre Fernandez, the bright green machine. He will be going for pole position race 1 for the club division. That's the second race this afternoon. And then S1, our triple racing, 3-car racing contingent, 2 in the club division with Angelo Fontana and Javier Ripoll Jr. Javier wasn't able to join us last weekend, but we'll let him off because it was to be there for the birth of his first child. So congratulations, Javier, on his first child. He's back again racing this weekend. He had a good weekend, and I was hoping to grab a word with Javier, but I think he may well be at lunch. He's hoping to break his duck in the green S1 racing car of having only finished in second place this season. 2 second places at Portimao, 2 second places in Estoril. Wasn't with us last weekend. We'll see how he gets on. And then Alex Ryman also in the sport division. He was our Pro-Am champion last season in the Porsche Sprint Challenge Southern Europe.